So one of the dishes we're going to do today is a chicken liver pate, but for me, I decided that I wanted to try and elevate it to a slightly higher level. Obviously, you can leave out some of the ingredients that we're going to be putting in later, but such as the port or the brandy, but really if you use all of these things together, it's really quite an exceptional dish. So for this dish, I already koshered my livers earlier. Here I have red onion. Some people like the other one, but I find that the red onion is a lot sweeter. The French like garlic, and they want to like mamash taste the garlic. For me in this particular dish, even though I love garlic, I just want to have it as a flavouring. And then you can cut it nice and fine. Here are the livers that were salted and koshered under the broiler. And now I'm going to heat up some olive oil in my pan. It doesn't matter, you can have a lot of oil for this. You want a nice amount. You want to get the onions a little bit brown, not just translucent, because it adds to the flavour, nice and caramelised, makes it quite special. Stir it around a bit. I'm just going to add 1 star anise, but I didn't want to add too much. Just a little subtle hint, because I don't want the chopped liver to be too anisey. A little bit of salt and pepper at the moment, just to start building the flavours. Okay, I'm just going to add the garlic in now that the onions are starting to go brown. Just try and release some of the flavour. I'm going to take out the star anise now because it's not needed anymore. It's imparted a nice little underlying flavour into the dish. So now I'm going to add the livers in here. A little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper, make sure it's seasoned really well. The worst thing is that you do all of these things and then it turns out that it's bland. When I make it, bit of a classic, putting some boiled eggs into it. Hard-boiled eggs makes it nice. Okay, I'll put a nice bit of brandy in. There we go. We just light it in order to evaporate some of the alcohol. I'm not going to stick my nose over and smell at the moment. The flame will die out naturally in a few seconds, which is fine. Let everything just simmer in the brandy for a little bit. Let's get this flavour into it. And being Shabbat, you always want to have a little bit of wine, but this wine's a little bit more special. This is a port wine, but it is still pretty sweet. Just a nice swig, however much you feel that you want your guests to drink. They won't get drunk from this, by the way. Anytime you really use alcohol in food, people aren't going to get drunk because most of the alcohol is usually evaporated. So now that we've got the brandy and we've got the port in here, I'm just going to keep it in there simmering until it gets reduced a little bit, and then we'll start the blending and adding the spices at the end. You see, there's no liquid left now in here, so it's pretty much done. Going to turn off the heat. Then just remove it from the heat. Leave it to cool down, just so it stops bubbling. Okay, so part of being a newlywed, I only have a very small mixer at the moment. If you had a bigger Maggi mix, then you can do everything in one go. For me, I am limited on that, even though I found completeness in life. And so here we go. We're going to take some of the livers and onions, nice amount. I'm going to take an egg, because I think it will be about 3 batches. So we'll just take an egg, just put it inside. Now, make it a little bit special. Just put a capful of red wine vinegar inside. Some cayenne pepper, not too much because you want this more as a flavouring, you don't want to make it spicy. A bit of olive oil. Let the mixture emulsify a little bit. use goose fat instead, which would be awesome, but I don't have any at the moment. And then some silan to add a little bit of sweetness to it, which is date honey. A lot cheaper than normal honey in Israel, but you could use normal honey as well if you wanted. Pop the lid on, and turn it on, let it mix. Okay, I think it's done to a nice consistency. Come have a look. Very nice. Just put it in here. And for me, I have to now go and make the next batch. But for most of you guys with proper kitted out kitchens, you'll probably be done already. I'm going to make the next batch. I'm going to refrigerate it. And then I'm going to plate everything together. And there you have it. My decadent chicken liver pate with cherry tomato jam, which recipe you can get on the website, with some asparagus, some nice little Melba toasts, and some truffle oil. Absolutely fantastic dish. Doesn't cost too much, doesn't take too much time, but will be an absolute showstopper at your Shabbat dinner.